Wrestling from the standing position requires balance and positioning, and at the advanced level, a good, strong grip with motion. The same is true in baseball. A hitter's strong grip on the bat is essential for control in bunting and driving the ball, resulting in base hits and knocking the ball out of the park. In wrestling, this baseball grip plays a very important role in controlling your opponent to hit that single or double. And sometimes getting a strong grip on your opponent can help hit that home run. In this video, I'll share some effective advanced holds and skills from the standing position that will put your opponent to the mat and you in control so you can swing for the fences. I'll be working with the Zadig brothers, Bill and Mike, both National Collegiate All-Americans and freestyle wrestling champions for the highly successful Iowa wrestling program. They'll demonstrate the moves and drills that I've used over the years to help me and my wrestlers score quickly and effectively from the standing position. Let's head to the mat. As you notice here, we have Bill without a headgear, Mike with a headgear. Mike just finished his collegiate career. All through high school, all through college, headgear is required. Actually, in competition, it's required. In practices, it's going to start being required in college. In international competition, you just don't wear one. Bill does a lot more international. He's just starting his, and he'll have to take this thing off, believe that or not. Tries to prevent cauliflower ears. The other thing I recommend are mouthpieces, which both of these guys wear when they actually wrestle in practice and in competition. Key on setting an opponent up is the stance. We've covered essential stance, but we're going to get a little bit more advanced here. Make the body into a block. There's no arms to grab. The head position is tucked into the shoulders to where there's no head to grab. And at the same time, besides this, you see this block position here. You see this block square position, the knees bent one way here, right here, just like this. The head is in position. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the head or the hand and we're going to create an opening, a setup, by just moving the opponent's head. And Bill will do this on Mike. All he's simply doing is creating the head position right there. See, the head got in there. He did it with a hand, or he can simply do it just with the head as well, pushing the head out of the way and coming in there. That's offense, which allows Bill to be able to create an opening completely on this side. Secondly, from a defensive point of view, as Mike shoots on Bill, he will do the same tactic, but do it on a defensive style. Just like that. Okay, once again, let's do that one more time. As he shoots, he blocks with his head and comes to an angle, hands down, just like he did from an offensive setup point of view. So you have an offensive head position to open up the stance for setups for shots, and you have a defensive standing position that did the same type of procedure that opened up Mike this time for a defensive scoring opportunity. Along with the setups, besides grips and head position, we also have a lot of stance and motion drills and movement that we utilized for setups for takedowns. We isolated several parts, a little bit of stance and motion, and he adds a little body fakes to it. Hip heist drill from here. Then we also have a knockout drill with our hips. When somebody shoots on us, we try to stop their momentum simply by going to the mat. So we put those three things together now in the stance and motion drill. So we have the stance and motion, body fakes, then we have the knockout part of it. We go to hip heist actions, and then we end up coming right back to our feet. And we go repeat right into it 3 or 4 or 5 times, before practice, after practice, during practice. It's a great drill as well as a great setup.
Even if your opponent gets by your front line of defense, head and arms, you still have the ability with your hips to get that score.
Now we get into the advanced ties. The first grip we're going to use is going to be called a baseball grip. Of course, obviously this would be a right-handed grip. This would be a left-handed grip. The baseball bat grip is a form of a 2-on-1 Russian tie, which is real normal as an upper body move here, but we just slide it all the way down to the wrist. It's right there. And it's almost like this is the baseball bat, and he's getting ready to hit those singles, doubles, or home runs right there. So this is a grip that together here, the baseball bat grip is very effective for maneuvering. And you see the head position as well. That creates a tremendous opening on this side over here. Right from the baseball bat grip, we move right up to the wrist and elbow, right to here. Very similar, just a little bit different. And now for control, we actually move from the wrist all the way up to the upper body, right to their upper arm for control. These three ties, baseball bat grip, wrist and elbow, and wrist and upper body, are three great ties for setups.
The ability to be able to control your opponent with this wrist and elbow or wrist and upper arm leads into a lot of opportunities to score, just like this inside trip. It almost puts your opponent to his back, or at least a good takedown.
These grips are great for movement and control, but they're also good for setups for leg tackles. And so when we go over them, we'll start out with the baseball bat grip, and we'll show movement, head position, action one way or the other, good snap action, body fakes a little bit in there, but it also opens up a lot of leg tackles where he can move the guy here and set right there just like that. The second grip is wrist and elbow, same type action. Moving, shoving, smacking around. It looks for, you can also get leg tackles, real simple. And then the last one is the control, which is more pushing and shoving, but it also opens up leg tackles. It opens up movement, motion, body fakes. It also opens up just quick snaps when the guy leans, just like that, and he scores. We're going to do a 2-on-1 post drill. It's basically clearing arms with a 2-on-1 for setups or movement or even control. Okay, Mike's going to post. Bill's going to clear. He's going to come back in with the other arm. He's going to come back in with the other arm. This is back and forth. He clears to the outside, just above the elbow, and he lifts. Anytime he wants to, he can actually clear the arm and actually control it right there, just like that. Okay, now we are capturing the 2-on-1 off the opponent's initial reaction or movement. Mike here will be reaching for a collar tie. Bill catches it on the way, goes right into his control tie, upper body there. Secondly, Mike is in an upper body tie. He slides the hand down and brings it across. And then lastly, Mike's in an underhook where he slides down, pushes hard here, takes the hand right out for control on the 2-on-1. Now they'll do it, all three of them again, at a little bit different pace. Capture at the wrist, come right in there. Second, take it off, slide it down, come right in. And then lastly, off the underhook. Good. Part of the controlled ties or setups is the underhook and the wrist. Notice where my arm's in. They're on my ribs here. And it makes my body that square body that I talked about. Action is not deep, it's short, but you've got a lot of power here when you're pushing. Bill here will put the underhook on over here, and he'll control the wrist on this side. Underhook over here, it's not real deep, but you can see where the power is. And the wrist over here, you can see here the wrist is controlled in. And now he uses his shoulder to move Mike up in the air and motion a little bit there. It creates some movement. So where you end up with a good control wrist and of course a good control underhook over here with the shoulder in.
Being able to move your opponent around to be able to get a good wrist and also a good underhook leads to good scoring opportunities like this one, even putting your opponent on his back.
Another way of moving your opponent besides 2-on-1s and underhooks is an elbow tie off the head. Controls the elbow and he gets those same motion, and he'll look for leg tackles and movement and really opens him wide open. Control the elbow, he's motion there, he's motion, clearing it, looking for leg tackles. Everything's wide open there, right off that head tie. We're going to capture the front headlock. Bill here will be ready to react off this head position once it touches his shoulder. Mike will rest his head there, and as soon as he touches, he snaps his head under. Notice the elbow is in, the wrist is no deeper than the chin. Okay, that's, again, do that again. He just touches his head there, he snaps his head down. Boom, just like that. Secondly, the head is not in contact. He reaches up, takes the head to the other armpit. As he moves it around here, you can see the same type of procedure as before. Again, let's do both in a live action. The first one, get it and put him in motion. Snap, boom, just like that. Good, real good. Okay, again. Now, up in the air, the head positions up in the air, he snaps it to the other armpit. And then he motions right there. Good, real good. We're going to take this same drill, this front headlock capture drill, and we're going to take it now from this level down to the mat level. Same position where Mike puts his head in. Bill's pushing a little bit, and he feels an action where weight in, and he'll snap him to the mat. Front headlock. Notice again, the elbow's tight, wrist is only to the chin, and now there's motion there, so he can set up his go behind or his leg tackle from there. Secondly, this time it's off a defensive scoring position where Mike shoots and he blocks with his head and he catches the head on the way in. Same type of action, and movement and score. We started with 2-on-1s, baseball bat grips, and then we ended with front headlocks. And now we're going to put those two together because they go hand in hand. A natural reaction after 2-on-1 is for the defensive man to go in, block with his head, which you can go right into your front headlock. And it's a good drill. 2-on-1s, front headlock. 2-on-1s, front headlock, as they'll demonstrate. 2-on-1, front headlock. Right back in. 2-on-1, counters, front headlock. 2-on-1, counters with the head, comes in, front headlock, moves him, and he ends up with a leg tackle from here. Real good. We next move on to the defensive side of these controlled ties. We'll start out with the 2-on-1 baseball bat grip. Mike will have the initial baseball bat grip. Bill will get head position and end up on the opposite side through hand fighting. One more time. Starts out, creates head position, comes around, ends up with the same grip himself. Now he moves it up to a 2-on-1 higher in the arm, does the same type of head position movement, comes around, gets the wrist and elbow, comes to the other side. One more time. 2-on-1, head position, come around, ends up 2-on-1. Then lastly, Mike has a controlled 2-on-1 on, and he's going to limp arm out by pulling the arm like you're starting a engine up. It's right here. Just pull it out, right here. He's controlling, pull it out. Good, good. Here we're going to break or keep underhooks out. Mike will go into an underhook. Bill will follow by clearing and pushing with his hand. As you can see, when he clears, he pushes with his hand here and then rotates his elbow up and down and goes right back into it. Good, good. Secondly, Mike has an underhook and a head control. Bill will raise his elbow and front headlock and take the guy right down. One more time. Same type of thing. Underhook, comes up with a hand, front headlock, go behind, score points off defense. In the Essentials tape, we countered front headlocks by doing quick ducks and actually driving the man off them, going to a 2-on-1 from a front headlock. We're going to do the same thing here, but now we're going to set up actual holds. Bill will hit the actual holds on Mike as he's clearing that front headlock. Go into the 2-on-1, he'll fireman's carry, and he'll outside fireman's carry. Fireman's carry from a front headlock. Outside fireman's carry from a front headlock. Again, hit a couple carries right in a row off the front headlock. Good action. Notice how he clears the head. And now 2-on-1, our front headlock, outside fireman's. Good action. We're going into the two-handed post drill. It's a post drill action that I either use off Mike's shot or I've snapped him to the mat. In other words, he's down on his knees and he's keeping his hip position back, which is good. And Bill will be coming over top and pulling thumbs part of his fingers here, and will be trying to extend him this way. Just pull him, boom, and he pulls back. Boom, just like this. Very good action, which opens him up for holds, which we'll do next.
Here, Tom Brands uses both hands to score easily off his opponent's shot.
Couple easy moves off this double hand post drill here. As Bill is pulling him out of position, he'll be setting him up, one for a go behind. Do it again. Do it right into flow action. Couple of pulls. Good. The second one, a mistake this guy makes a lot is when he gets pulled around, he happens to reach up just for controlled tie. And when he reaches up, he gets whipped. Pull him out of position. As he reaches up, boom, whip him right over. One more combination of moves off this double post drill is a knee tap. And that'll be a combination go behind and an actual type of whip over. Bill, go ahead. Boom, boom. That's a knee tap. Or if he doesn't go all the way over, if he tries that move this time, now he goes for a go behind. So either one of them. Let's do it one more time. Double hand post drill, knee tap. Hand goes all the way and blocks the knee there. You can make sure you see that. Do it one more time. And then lastly, if he doesn't go all the way over, when he falls on his hip only, pull the arm out and spin around behind. Quick points.
Royce Alger, world finalist, pulls his opponent to the mat and knee taps him all the way through for an easy score.
Another good sequence here is a front body lock right off when you snap somebody to the mat or they make a bad shot and you stop them defensively. So Mike's down on his knees. Bill's going to do a front body lock. The Russian that used to do this was Sergei Balaglosov. It's a front body lock, and we'll show a drill here when he gets his elbows back and puts a lot of hip pressure into him. He's going to knock Mike over to his hip. He's going to bounce back up. He's going to knock him back over the other hip, and we'll actually set him up for a series of moves, which you'll see later. Okay, he's down there. Lock it up. Around there, you attack that. Elbows are back. You almost have the guy's elbows forward here, locked around his chest here, just like this. Anyway, you can get it locked right here. And now you're putting your hips in, and you turn him a little bit to the side there. He comes back up. You whip him to the side there. You're only turning your upper body. You're only turning your upper body, right? One more time, back up. Boom. Right from this front body lock, Balaglosov drill, there incorporates some moves. When you hip into him and knock him over, you can get a go behind. You post and come right around the other side. Do that again. One more time. Hip in, post, and come around. Make it happen after a couple hip into him. One hip, two hip, now come right around. Good action there. One more time. You got to grab with a lot of authority here. Lots of authority. Lots of authority. Post and come around. Good. The real action comes when Bill posts his head and comes right around and straddles. Okay, do it again. Counter a little bit more, Mike. Counter a little bit. Real action comes in. He's fighting there. He's got to react by coming around and straddling. One more time. Hip in. Post the head. Straddle right around and hang on to those arms tight. We're still into defensive scoring. Mike made a shot here. He's reaching for a single leg. Bill's countering by sprawling, and he's going to reach in. This is a Randy Lewis arm trap drill. All he did was reach down to grab the wrist, clear the wrist up, pull it up against the body, switch hands. Now it frees this hand, and it frees this hand is under complete control here, this arm. Now he can swivel right around and get a takedown. Hip in. Okay, let's do it a couple times here in live action. He's in on a single leg. Bill reaches down, pops it, pulls it to his body, grabs, and comes around. One more time. It's an easy score. It's an easy score. Clears it, pulls it to the body, comes around, hips in. Another defensive scoring position off leg attacks is a front whizzer, far arm hip toss, but it's down at the mat level. Mike's made a shot. It's a front whizzer from the front here. He's pulling him up off the legs. He's reaching over, getting the far arm, and whipping right there. Good hip action. Let's go again. The hip has a lot to do with it, and pulling him up off the leg and driving him, pulling that arm out, makes him go right over to his back.
One of my favorites for defensive scoring is the whizzer and far arm, which can lead to putting your opponent on his back. And with correct adjustments, The pin will be the result.
Another mistake that's made on this single leg attacker here is sometimes he gets out of position a little bit by reaches and pulls in. He gets his elbows together. Bill's going to take advantage of that. He's going to get both arms with one arm in there. He's going to reach through, push it through. And he has both of them in there locked. Now what he's going to do, he's going to post into it by pushing into him and then coming right around, posting his head and step right over. Very similar to the Beloglossos, but instead of body lock, you got two arms. One more time. You have to have both arms. He's got the, kind of like the wizard, but he pushes the other arm through. He's got both arms trapped, hips into it, comes around, posts his head, steps right over and locks. Good fall. Defensive scoring, single leg attack. He gets stretched out a little bit. He's going to be pushing on Mike's head. He's going to look him for a quarter Nelson. He posts here on the arm. The hand comes down, grabs the chin. You do not turn the chin in high school. You just keep it locked. You drive the man over to the side, then post your head and end up just like the Beloglossov. All right, let's do it at a little bit quicker pace here. In on a single leg, quarter Nelson, post, come around, lock. One more time. I want to make sure we get this hand control right. He's in on a single leg. He's pulling this up. He's pushing the head down. Look at the grip. This other one's on the chin, and he comes around. Ends up in a fall. Now we're getting into the offensive action, which is more my favorite. We're going to start in with the double legs. We're going right back to the grips that we talked about. We talked about the baseball bat grip. We also talked about this bunt grip. We really didn't mention it being a bunt, but it's a wrist and an elbow, but it is kind of like a bunt in baseball. So we're here, baseball, and here's more like a bunt. We're going to go right into a double leg off this bunt grip right here. In this action, you have what's called inside step, or you have outside step. Basically, elbow and wrist, inside, and this is the one you usually use when you take the hand over to explode. Or if you're going to cut the corner, you do the outside step right here. But right now, we are doing the inside step right there because they're more explosive, and that's when you usually use your inside step. Okay, so Bill here will take the position right here. This is the wrist. This is the elbow. And all he's going to do is, he actually takes it across here in this tie, underhook tie, and he'll throw it to the side and step right there, just like that. Okay? Do it again. Just right there. Notice something here I want you to see on the other way. I want to see his hand here go right to this knee here. Take his hand right to it as you do it. Control tie, boom. Then you run the guy over, right at the knees, just like that. Make sure you don't go any higher than the knees. Knees and below for finishes. Knees and below. Right off the bunt. Boom. Right in there. To go right along with that first double leg that I call the Chris Campbell double leg, we go to another double leg, but it actually covers across the body. It's kind of a post double leg where Mike here will post after Bill gets a 2-on-1. It's a 2-on-1. He posts. Now Bill will actually take his post arm here, or take this free arm, 2-on-1 arm, and clear with the post arm like that and shoot a double leg with the inside step, just like that. Okay, let's do it kind of realistic here when the guy's countering a little bit and you're hitting him hard here. 2-on-1, post, drive, knees and below. Good.
Clearing your opponent's defensive arm off the 2-on-1 leads to a good double, which can result in at least 2 points.
We're into double legs for offensive scoring. This next is probably one of my favorites. It's called a sweep double. It's so pretty sometimes that you almost call it a sweet double because it works so well. It knocks guys right over without any kind of resistance. You can do this sweep double off the baseball bat grip, fake to the outside, come back across, or you can do it from a good inside tie control, and we'll do sweep doubles from both these positions. First one, the baseball bat. Right back up. Again, same one. Baseball bat, fake, come across. Stay right at the knees. Okay, the next one's from an inside tie. Fake, come right across. He goes right down. One more time. This is an outstanding move. It wins at all levels, baseball bat grip or inside tie.
A sweep double makes your opponent fall down for an easy score.
We're going to hit double legs from the underhook and kind of the wrist tie, but sometimes we don't have that wrist. So we're going to do 3 double legs from the underhook, 1 on the same side head and 2 of them from the far side head. The first one's called a pop double on the same side head. Underhook, same side head. Mike posts, and he pops up, takes him right down to the mat. All the way to the knees. Do that one again. Got to get the guy leaning in. He posts, come right in, comes up. Oftentimes you don't want to go down to the mat, but on this one, when the guy's leaning, you do that pop post. Again, one more time. Pop him up. Boom. Good. All right. 2 more double legs come from the same type of tie, but the head's on the other side. Instead of having the head on the same side, the underhook, head's on the other side. Now we're going to do a cross block with the foot right there, catches and goes in. Let's do that a little bit slower so you can see the foot. The foot comes up and actually just traps. Shoulders in there, foot comes up, foot right there. Now you come right down to there and you drive him over. Knees and below. Look good. Looked real good. Okay, one more time. Underhook, head on the far side, catch it, move him a little bit, catch him, take him right down. Looks good. And the last one would be a slide by from the underhook. Slide by, you just get him, you push in, you go right down to the knee, take him over. Again, one more time. Very similar to the cross, but you just kind of pull him with your arms. Knees and below for the finish. It looked really good. All 3 double legs again, one more time. Same side, pop, cross block with the foot, knees and below, and then lastly, slide by, pulling the arm right to the knees and below.
Setting your opponent up for a pop double will sky your opponent, and then of course return to the mat for points.
We're kind of having a throwback here to the Essentials tape. After reviewing the Essentials tape, I thought maybe I wanted to add a little bit, so I'm throwing it in this advanced, but probably should have been in the Essentials. It's a head to inside and head to outside dump where you set the guy down with a high single leg. So we'll start out with a head to the inside, and all you're simply doing is setting him right here down to his butt by going backwards real quick, moving right down to his butt, just like that. Good, good. And of course, Bill's not leaving his feet here, which he's doing correctly right now, but once he gets down to the mat, he would cover him and drop down to his hips and below or knees. But again, let's do that dump again. Head to inside, high dump. It's an essential, especially for heavyweights. It's a real simple move. Set him right down on his butt. Boom, just like that. Good action, good action.
3-time All-American Bart Chelsvig gets stopped on his initial shot, but uses a secondary move, the dump, to take his opponent down.
That same action happens with the head to the outside as well. Head to the outside as well. Again, in the essential tape, we took him that way because that's the normal action, driving. But here, we've been stopped and we're setting him right on their butt. Boom, just like this. Good, good action. One more time. This is head to the outside, essential. Good, not bad. I call those secondary moves because usually when you come in, you want to stay the same direction. So usually you come in and drive. But here, we got stopped. And it can actually be a primary move by simply, if the guy sticks his leg out sometimes and thinks he's pretty skilled at that, you just reach and pull it and snatch him and split him right there. So just stick your leg out because you're pretty tough there. Just it's a primary move, but just grab right behind here and pull right back. Boom. It's like that. Do it again. Don't even have to go in that far. Good, good. One more time. Boom. There she is. Another high single leg finish is just to put the shoulder under, get the weight off the near side, and go to the far knee. It's called a barzagar after a famous Iranian who won the world championship several years ago. Anyway, he's in on the single leg, head to the inside. He's driving in, putting the shoulder under. He's going to the far knee. Driving, take him off his feet. Boom. All right, now let's do it in flowing. Baseball bat grip, right to the high single leg, right to the barzagar. Good, good action. Or do a 2-on-1. Do a 2-on-1 grip to the high single leg, barzagar. Good, nice. We're going right back to our ties. Let's say it's the baseball bat grip, and we're going to go right to the low ankle finishes here. This is a series that is very effective. There really are no counters to them if you hit these correctly. Let's go into the upper hand to the knee, and then the lower hand to the ankle. Okay, good. Let's put a little action into it now. It's same grip. Nice. Again. Top arm, knee, far arm, ankle. We also have the same action, but this time instead of the outside arm reaching first, the inside arm reaches first. Now we have to go behind. This is a little more difficult. Baseball bat grip, movement, the head goes to the outside. Come across to the far ankle for the finish. It's a little bit harder to execute. Baseball bat grip, head there, ends up right there. For those that are very fluent, we're going to do an ankle pick. It's actually going to be a fake, and then we're going to use that momentum to go right to a sweep single leg. Bill's going to hit the ankle pick, set him up, and then sweep right around to a single leg. Good. One more time. Let's do it a couple more times. Make sure you get that good ankle pick to where the guys pull him back after you steady him. Then come right around, come right up with that leg. Always pick the leg up. Good. We're going to go right into some single leg finishes from the baseball bat grip, and we're also going to do it from like an inside tie. Since we've been doing a lot of these type of tie-ups, we're going to focus on 3 finishes from both these tie-ups. First one would be head to the outside, lift, baseball bat, up in the air, just come right around. Second one's going to be cutting the corner from that same tie, coming right around, picking that leg up. Third one's going to be a crackdown, right to Mike's rear end. Baseball bat in, crack it down, finish. Make sure the head comes across. Good. We do the same from an inside tie too. Same finishes, all 3 from the inside tie. Good. Cut the corner. Good. And crack down. Good.
The near arm far leg setup can lead to a head to outside shot that cuts the corner, and with proper lifting, a good score.
We're going to start right in with the 2-on-1. It's actually a high control 2-on-1 up here around the shoulder. And we're going to use our legs as hands here, and we're going to be able to lift our opponent's leg right to our hands. At the same time, we're doing a head drive finish. 2-on-1, movement, trap, head drive finish. Good. Very good move for heavyweights. Good controlled tie-up. Get him to circle, step, trap, head drive. Got to pick that knee up when you head drive. Got to pick that knee up, keep that hip under you. Make sure you push in before you trap the foot. Push in, looks real good. Great job. Oftentimes in high single leg finishes, one gets in trouble simply because an opponent is tough and he puts weight on the feet and he starts breaking grips. When that happens, if you trap the knees, then you're going to be in good position. And it's a kind of a drill that we use, but it's also, it leads into execution, and we'll get right into it. Bill has a high single leg, head to the inside. He's reaching down, he's breaking the grip. He pinches the knees together. Now the drill is simply moving the guy here, but if you want to finish besides moving, you just reach down and grab the far knee, lock the hands, and pinch him right up in the air. The same position works with the head to the outside. Same position works with the head to the outside. Head to the outside. Right here, knees are trapped. He has control of the wrist. He reaches down because he's close, and he can pop him right up there. Now this drill works real good if you want to just use it as a coaching tool, just by getting in there and just pinching. Just get in there and pinch and just move the guy. Move the guy. Just moving. Back one way, moving the other way, right here. Just like that, okay? Now head to outside, head to outside. Same thing, moving right there. That's a drill right there. Small little steps here. And of course the finishes is just going down to the knees and driving right through here. Or the last finish would be on the head to the inside single, when the guy initially grabs to reach far through. As he pulls the leg up, reach the arm all the way through, trap right there, take him right down. One of the first things we talked about was head position. We used our head a lot from an offensive and a defensive point of view. We're going to start out with our hand turning the guy's head, and we're going to follow up with a lot of outside steps from singles to doubles. So Bill, go ahead, execute with the hand into the single leg to the double. Real good, real good. Notice how he moves the head out of the way with one hand, follows up with the other. The hand keeps the push, the weight over here, and he goes right down to a double leg. Single to double. The thing that's key about this is that head acts like these hands when you push people around. That transfers the weight back and forth to where there's no weight when you execute. Okay, again, get motion with the head. Boom, boom, good motion in there. Perfect, perfect, right there. We got it down so well, let's do it one more time. Moving that head out of the way, one hand, the other. Ah, perfect, 2 in a row, we'll stop at that. The next tie to the leg tackle, single to double, is going to be the front headlock. We've already went over the capturing the front headlocks with the single arm and actually putting it across. And now once we get it, we're going to move him out of the way. It's very similar to what we just did with that head motion and hand motion, and then we're going to attack the single to the double with the outside step. Okay. He lays his head, he front headlocks, move his head this way, out of the way. He reaches single, push across to the double leg. Okay, let's do it in live action now. Now remember, before when I talked about snapping that head, it's not a situation where you snap the head and hang on to it. It's you snap the head, especially when you're going to another move, you move him right away. So you move him right away. You don't hang on to any position. You move right away, come in, tackle that near knee, far knee. So we have a couple ways of tackling the head. Front headlock move, perfect. Nice, nice. We'll see if he has another one on him. Let's do the actual different setup from the far side this time. His head's up a little higher. Let's jam it from that other arm into it. There, cross, move. Yeah, nice. 2 types of setups. They both worked well. We're going to do a front headlock drill from the standing position and the mat position. It's basically changing side to side with the head. This opens up opportunities on both sides. Depending on which side you're best, you might want to be able to maneuver. At that level, you can go to a leg tackle. And the same thing can be on the mat. Moving side to side. Front headlock drill, side to side change. Go behind or leg tackles. Singles to doubles off your opponent's action. Kind of like reshooting. After the opponent shoots in, you want to pick it up, create an angle, use the same ties, whether it be the head position, front headlock, and you attack the legs or try to get your go behind. But in this case, we're going singles to doubles. Good action. Again, let's try to stay in the middle here more. Mike shoots, he counters, moving the head out of the way. Great shot on the knee to knee. That was good. Okay, this time he's going to get in a little deeper, so he's going to end up in a front headlock. But instead of holding it, he's moving it right away again off his shot. Front headlock to a single to a double. Yeah, good action. One more time. Nice.
A good defense can lead to scoring leg tackles off your opponent's shot.
We're going to do the same thing. This time, instead of off his action, we're going to actually move him into that position by pushing and snapping, which is my number one choice. I would rather not have this guy shoot, but if he does, we have both available. We're going to go into where we push and snap and then hit those same actions. Nice, nice. There's no risk in these, the ones where you snap. Front headlock one. There it is again. Great. Okay, here we have a series off the elbow, which usually I don't teach a lot of letting people on my head or on my athlete's head. But there are some good moves you can do from there right off the elbow if you get your power and your pressure into it and get the guy in motion. Here we're going to do like a power push elbow to a near single to a far double at the ankle, knee and below. Terry Brand's Olympic bronze medalist and world champion twice, was able to do a lot of this action right here. And it just kind of gets this guy out of position at an angle where he runs by and then the guy just tackles it. Single to double. Mike will execute this. Not bad, not bad. Are you seeing this elbow here? Are you seeing this elbow? Here, grab a hold. See, it's here. He's pushing here. Let's get around here and show this. Right here. See how he's pushing this right here? And he's getting a lot of weight transfer and coming in there and coming around behind, above the knee or below. Let's go to the ankle this time when you come around. Let's go to the ankle. Last one. Let's make it flow. Make it flow. Great. Great job. Okay, we're going to talk about tosses, basically being able to pick somebody up and throw them through the air. And we're going to talk about defense. I'm going to start out with the defense because defense is very important. If you've never done this before, it's actually pretty difficult. And it's called just hip sagging and moving in a circle to keep the guy from tossing you. Mike here is going to come up and get double unders. He's going to try to pick him up. Bill is going to sag his hips, take his weight off his feet, a lot of weight down, and he's going to be able to maneuver in a circle here. And it's really the defensive drill that we're looking for right here to keep from getting thrown. Mike comes in with it right there. Being able to move around from here, just make him a heavy hips, moving away. Try to push out of there, come over top and break. That's the object. You don't want to get staying there unless you're going to do a maneuver or an offensive move. Now, there's some things he could do there, like inside tripping and that type of stuff. But right now, we're showing the defensive heavy hips drill, and he actually came up with the chin, not in the throat area. That's illegal. And he can rotate his arms out as well. Let's see how he rotates the arms out, just without even coming in on the chin this time. Just after you sag, just rotate the elbow out, just like that. Comes in. Let's do that again, so I can see how that arm comes to the inside. One arm at a time. 1, 2. Good. Mike's coming in with the double unders. He's getting a little out of control. He's pushing in with his upper body a little bit leaning. And instead of just breaking the grip and sagging, Bill is going to hit him with a headlock. Go ahead. Automatic pin. Again, he's coming in. He's sagging his hips. The guy's pushing a little bit out of control. Hits a good hard headlock. Bang, right there. We're going to stay along the same terms. We're coming in with double unders, but we're looking for like a bear hug knee block. And what it is, it's more of a controlled knee block, one where you really take any kind of move away from this guy that just headlocked him because he has a low hip and he has a good transition with his knee and his other leg. Double unders, block with the knee, switch, transition, control all the way down to the mat. Okay, now we're going to do it a little bit faster pace. Walk him after you get him a little bit. There you go. Not bad. One more time. One more time. Get a little hip pop once you get there. Once you get to the side. Here we go. Here we go. Pop. Take it right down. Boom. Not bad. Not bad. This next toss comes from double unders, or it can come from an overhook and an underhook. Probably the most common is from just the over and under. It's a lot of guys have done this. It's probably a guy that from Oklahoma named Metzger used to use this a lot, and the name of the hold is actually called the Metzger sometimes, but we have other people that have kind of taken it away from him, and they use their names as well. So it doesn't really matter whose name it is, but it's a good move. Over and under or double unders. We'll start with an over and under. Set the guy up, block his knee, come inside the crotch, and pop your hip. The guy flies to his back. Okay, let's try it again. We'll show it one more time where the hand goes to the head and the knee goes to the outside block. You set him up by moving him a little bit, block the knee, come inside with the head, and in the crotch, pop the hip, he flows. Okay, now we'll do it at more live pace. Over and under, set up, catch, boom, right to his back. Perfect. One more time. Metzger, boom, boom, block the knee, boom, flies through the air. Another great toss is a step-up knee block, and really putting your hip into it and throwing the guy. The risk in this really isn't that high because we're not taking the guy backwards, whereas a lot of people throw to their own back. This time we're going to throw more forward and a little bit to the side. Step in, catch that, toss. Try to get a little more penetration. The key is almost like winding up, boom, so you get a lot of power there. Yeah, perfect. Now I realized he bounced free, and then you got to be able to contain the guy. Now in freestyle, that's points, but in high school style and collegiate style, you have to control the guy. It's not an illegal hold, but you must maintain control. One more step up. Here we go. Make it good. Penetration, good, perfect. This last toss comes up off when a guy is in on a high single leg and he reaches up around the waist, or he's just in an over and under hook. And from there, one man goes for a bear hug and the other guy counters by hooking an ankle, putting his hips and leg underneath him, and tosses him through the air and ends up on top. It's a big move overseas in Europe. A lot of times you think you got these guys and you start bending them over, and because you bend them over like this incorrectly with your hips out, they toss you. You go flying. Okay, here we go. Mike's going to be attempting a single leg coming up off there. Comes in, he hooks the ankle, gets his other foot underneath him and tosses high in the air, ends up on top. Okay, we're going to go in there hard. He's going to push in hard with an over and under, and he's going to set up his toss and hit it. There it is. He's going to hook the ankle. He's going to come under and toss. It's a little bit like a lateral drop, but there's not much risk because you take the post away by hooking that ankle. Because remember on the sag drill, you try to step around. Well, there's no ankle when you step around. There's nothing but a stump there. Air. So he flies. One more time. Pushing in, hooking an ankle. Actually, his ankle wasn't even hooked that time. He just used his knee. But that's okay. As long as you have some kind of an attack. Before he used the ankle, the leg lift, this time he just come up with the knee. A lot of people overseas really utilize this type of pressure with their legs. This type of action needs some safety, and so you put in a crash pad to make sure that somebody doesn't get hurt, especially if you're going to do this from a drilling point of view over and over again. It saves a lot of wear and tear on the body. It saves a lot of wear and tear on the body. Once he hooked the ankle, the second time he just used the knee. Again, in there, hook that ankle, throw, boom. Key moves. We just have a series of key moves here that are outstanding. Some of these moves that I'm bringing up are ones that have been in the past, and maybe I haven't seen for quite a while. This one, a young man from Lehigh, Lieberman, used to do this. It's a near side duck, far side trip, and it works very well. Nate Carr has done it. A few other people have done it, but it's a near duck, far side trip knee block. Go ahead. These two guys haven't done this move. We'll try to coach them through it a little bit. Duck, far side trip, boom. It's a toss. Sometimes it ends up just being a run over kind of, but in here, if you do it correctly, he ends up flying through the air. Duck, far knee block. Duck, far knee block, taking a guy through. And here, actually, here, let me coach you a little bit here. I'm looking for a move, and all of a sudden I'm hitting the duck here, and then as he moves a little bit this way, I'm stepping deep right here, driving, and I'm kind of running him over right there. If you hit it quickly, and you get that weight going, it's almost like a sag where your situation, you're coming here and here, and just run him right over, just like that. Or you can stop, keep your hips under, and toss him like Bill is doing. The real key point here is when you hit this near side duck, you immediately have to go to a knee block. It can't be a step and then a knee block. It's got to be off the same action. From here, the guy moves, and as you step in, you take a big step and drive right there. So we'll try it one more time. Here we go. Duck, block. Nice. Not too bad. Not too bad. Very similar on this one. Duck to a knee block, but it's more of a bear hug where you just come up with your hips, set him up in the air, and toss him down. Nate Carr used to do this all the time. In fact, I think he did it like in a key match in the Olympic trials. So it's one of these things that if you're explosive, it really works. The other one was more like you get a better setup because the guy moves around. This one, you just come up, lift with your hips, and toss straight in. Duck, toss to the mat. A little bit high. Get a little bit lower. Get your hips under so when you come right in, he's already off the ground. And then toss immediately. One more time. That was a little low that time. Get up, pick him up. Get in there, lift it, boom. There we go. Nice, good lift.
Instead of ducking and lifting, two-time All-American John Ostendorp deep ducks and then body locks his opponent to the mat for the pin. And of course, to the fans' delight.
More key moves. This is off the 2-on-1. We've been spending a lot of time on this. We're going to do 3 or 4 basic moves here. 2-on-1 to a simple drag. And to a lift. Key on that one's to banging him and dragging the upper arm there. Or the lower arm actually comes up and drags. Do it again. Drag it by, toss hip hard up in the back, come in with your hips, pick him up in the air, take him to the mat. Okay, good. A little motion there helps a lot of times. A little motion like pushing in, because that's when he pushes back. That's when you drag right there. That's when you come inside and set him down. A little motion always helps for setups in wrestling. Action, reaction. Okay, the second one's a little bit of a twist with a 2-on-1. Hip toss twist. Just get your 2-point takedown or your 1-point takedown if it's freestyle. This time we're going to actually do a hip toss from here. Just instead of one hip coming in, both hips are going to come in and bang, we're going to throw him right over to his back. 2-on-1, step in, toss, right on his back. Not too bad, not too bad. And then the last one is just going to be a trip. 2-on-1, maneuver the guy around to the point where you trip his foot with your own foot. Boom, take him right down. Good action. Let's do that one again. It's real simple, but you're, again, using your feet as hands. 2-on-1, maneuver a little bit, circle him, come right around. Sometimes you get in a position where you don't know what to do because you only have him by your arms and you forget you have feet. Next key move is going to be a drive carry. This is a little bit different than a normal fireman's carry. It's one where you set your opponent up from the outside, you're coming in, and you're taking the elbow and the knee right together, and you just slide him right down, right to his back. Not much elevation or lift on this one. Let's do it again. Bill here is so used to picking up and throwing that he likes to get that elevation. This one can be just straight ahead, no lift at all. Straight, crunch the elbow to the knee. Boom. Not bad, not bad. You have to clear the head. One of the problems we have here is a lot of guys take carries and they get their head caught, and then it's a stalemate. You always pull your head back. One more time on this drive carry. Not bad, not bad. Looks good. Bill also does one that you really sky somebody off the same type of setup, off the head. And we're going back again to these head ties. We're going back this, and that sets it up in motion. Nothing controlled, in motion. That's where your best chance of executing holds are. Now he's going to get the drive carry with a little bit of amplitude. Not much difference, except for just he's clearing the head up here as compared to before he's clearing the head down here by pulling the back. One more time. Amplitude carry. We're going right into what's called the same side pick, ankle pick. Most of the time you see people hitting head and ankle pick. This time we're going to hit head and same side. And at the same time we're going to pull that ankle out and he's going to end up right on his rear. Same side pick. Off the head, down, boom. Once again. Moves him to where the weight's on the foot, reaches down, catches it, follows through. Not bad. Sanderson does that move very well. And if you can do outside and same side, you're really a double threat. We're going to finish up here with what's called the boot scoot. Of course, this is the boot right here. So we're going to try to show a move here that when an opponent is leaning off an elbow tie, you can get a leg tackle from a single to a double, or you can get a good duck where a guy almost lands on his head. We'll do two actions here. First one, the leg tackle. Off the elbow tie, boom, right to the double leg, single to double. That was good. Do it again. You have to have the guy coming in a little bit. You have to set him up off the elbow. Notice he falls right to his hip and he scoots. That's why it's called boot scoot. This time the guy's getting a little tireder and he's coming after and he's pushing, and now he's not even going to hit the leg tackle. He's just going to come up with a duck under, but the guy almost hits his head. He gets hurt. Pushing hard, scoot, come right around. Let's do that one again. This boot scoot is made famous by Lincoln McElravy. Good action.
From the standing position, use the grips and moves we've shown in this video, and you'll gain the advantage on your opponent. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, but in life, both winners.